Bitcoins and beer, Bitcoins and beer. Here is Norm. He's a storm as he screams and raises rants. He is here drinking beer, spilling Bitcoins on his fans. Hello, it's me, Normian, here once again to drink beer and rant about Bitcoin, of course. So, today's beer is not the double bastard back here. Before you get more perspective on it, it's a double bastard. Maybe sometime else. Back there, it looks more in perspective of today's beer. Yep. Once again, it's Racer 5. Love this beer. Really do. As if you didn't know that already. Won't go into too much about today's beer. Well, the price of Bitcoin has dropped again, but is above what it normally is. I'm getting out my phone. I'm going to look at the price as we do this. November 10th, tomorrow is Veterans Day. Please honor your veterans. It's had to 322. So it's probably dropped quite a bit since the last time I did this, but it's up since prior times I did this. So that's the way Bitcoin goes. And that's the way it will go. Today, I'm really not going to talk about Bitcoin as much as economics. This really makes me look weird. I gotta take this weird cap off that was made for me. It's a knitted beanie. It keeps me warm because actually it's quite cold out there. But economics. Okay, today I some reason reminded of Faris Bullersday Day Off. Maybe because last week's episode of the TV show called Limitless. Check it out if you want. It's actually pretty interesting. Although I think if I had like some kind of pill that made my brain active like his brain, which I kind of always wish for, because we only actually use 10% of our brain, in theory. Allegedly, we only use 10% of our brain. But if we could use all sectors of our brain, 100%, should you imagine that? Probably go crazy. I don't know. That's what I think about that show, but it is an interesting show. Based on a movie. So I want to talk about economics. And I was thinking about Ferris Bueller's Day Off, because that show Limitless kind of did a spoof of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and I could quote every line except for the ones they changed. I knew exactly what they were doing. They had the yellow song, "Oh yeah," playing. And I knew exactly what they were doing with that show, and I could quote almost the first part of that movie, because when I was 16, I just high school watched the movie. Showing my age, I guess. But Ben Stein's economics class in that movie. Do you remember that? Anyone? 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 I guess not. If you were going here, you're over the internet, I can't see you. But Ben Stein, before he was an actor, and it's so funny that he was an economics teacher, because he was one of Nixon's economics advisors. Believe it or not, he was on his board. Not like Henry Kissinger, the Henry Kissinger, the Kingston genius that actually made our currency. That was one of the turning points of our currency. Our currency was supposed to die probably 40 years ago. Back then. But Henry Kissinger invented the petrodollar. I'll let you look that all up. With this Kingston economics by going to OPEC. And I'm sure Ben Stein maybe had something to do with it because he was working with the whole thing. But his whole lecture. In 1930, the Republican House of Representatives, in order to alleviate the anyone, I could have got that year wrong. I probably did. National deficit. He made a point to say the Republican House of Representatives. I probably got that year completely wrong. But then he went on to talk about trickle-down economics. Trickle-down economics was it's kind of a weird term. I kind of understand it. Well, I understand it. There is a twist to it, where you give more money to the businesses so they can hire more workers, so that basically it's like quantitative easing, where you trickle down the money to the workers by giving more money to business owners, which works when the business owners are local and the workers are local. But when you do a global effect, it kind of loses its candor, because your workers are local and your manufacturers and all that stuff is global. If you get my drift. That's where the term kind of turned into voodoo economics, where the more spread out it is, which they don't go into the movie, but he does mention voodoo economics, and he mentioned George Bush, and Singer, of course, mentions voodoo economics. But voodoo economics is where the manufacturing is done, like outsourced. Where a lot of things done outsourced. Trickle-down economics works locally, but not globally. It may even work nationally, allegedly, but not globally. We are in a global economic sphere, where our economics are no longer working nationally or locally. We are in this global economy. Where the Kingston theory, where the strength of the market, basically Kingston theory says strength of the market is in, or the strength of the economy is in the strength of the market. When the market is global, okay, there's global, there's national, there's local. When the it's breaking down the Kingston theory. Our Kingston theory is being broken down. Just remember, And this is where the term voodoo economics comes in, where it only works at a local level, or maybe even national level. But once you go international with this level, it's not going to work anymore. I'm sorry, Dr. Kings. I'm sorry. This is the thing about economics. People don't understand economics at all. That's part of the problem. That is part of the problem. Yeah, you're saying, you're explaining this to me, but Bitcoin is international. Okay. Bitcoin was factored in to the internet. If you study Kingston economics, it's not the strength of the market, it's the strength of the commodity you hold. I know that's a really lame way of putting it, actually. But, I'm not smart enough to explain this to you because I've had too many of these. Just think about it. Alright? Use your own mind. Think about it. Don't listen to what you're told. Think about it. Satoshi saved, Satoshi earned.